Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer Paul Mainieri is someone who's been around this state for a long, long time, playing here, then coming back and coaching at LSU. First of all, what does it mean to be a member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame?
You know, it's just so hard to put into words to express your gratitude, and you know, you feel inadequate for this kind of an honor, especially when you see all the other people that are being inducted this year or that have already been inducted. You know, all I ever wanted to do was do a good job for LSU and the baseball program. I never went into it with any aspirations of being selected to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. But then for people to recognize, you know, your time there, because, you know, when you look at your own time, you're always conflicted because you know you accomplished some really good things, but there was always more you could have done. And sometimes as coaches, you know, we're always dwelling on the losses or the things that we didn't get done. You forget sometimes about the accomplishments. And so when you get notified of an induction into a Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, you say to yourself, maybe we did do some good stuff. And so it's flattering to be recognized that way.
I know you were in Omaha this year to see LSU win a 7th national championship. How many of those feelings from 2009 came rushing back as you saw what this team accomplished this year?
Yeah, I was really proud of the team this year to do that and get that 7th championship. You know, we won the 6th one in 2009, and then we spent the next dozen years trying to get that 7th one. Man, that thing was elusive, and we had some really great teams and just couldn't win the last game of the year. And you know, those are the things that stick with you, you know, the things that you didn't accomplish too. So when I was down on the field, I reflected on the 2009 season and what a great celebration, but I also thought about guys like Alex Bregman and Aaron Nola and Alex Lang and Jared Poche and Antoine Duplantis and Kramer Robertson and all those kind of guys that didn't get to hoist the trophy. And it brought back a lot of, you know, pain too, you know, but listen, you know, life goes on. You do the best you can, and we did the best we could. We came up short a couple of times, but you can't take the one away from us in 2009. And those kids, you know, had a remarkable experience, and I love them all. They were phenomenal, and hopefully the number 8 championship will come a lot sooner than number 7 came.
I say all the time that what Skip accomplished in a decade really just made things that much more difficult than those who were going to follow, you know, in his spot at LSU, or for that matter anywhere else, because I think more people realized that you could have success and make money and do all the right things as a sport with college baseball, not just here, but in other conferences. And you've seen how the sport has grown. So that's where I'm going to next. How have you seen the sport grow from the time you were playing in the 70s to now, as you know, a couple of years removed from your last game in the dugout at LSU?
Well, it's changed in so many ways. I mean, we need a much longer interview to talk about all the ways it's changed. But let me clarify something. You know, you say it made it more difficult for those that followed. I never looked at it that way. I actually thought it made it easier for those that followed. Now, maybe not in, you know, fans' eyes, because they expect you to win 5 national championships in a 10-year period. I mean, that'll never be done again. You know, Skip was so unique. He came at a unique time when not a lot of teams in the SEC were taking baseball serious, and because he was so much beyond the other people that were coaching the teams, you know, he was able to dominate and carry that through for a period of time. But as you mentioned, you know, because of what he did, a lot of people started taking college baseball serious on their campuses, and that made it more difficult for us to win. But because we had the history and the tradition of Skip's years at LSU, that's when I would say, you know, we had an advantage in that regard. But it was just hard to win the last game of the season. You know, the changes begin with that. You know, there's just so many more teams that are taking college baseball serious, which is healthy for the sport, but it's just hard to have a dynasty that way. But the social media, you know, the metrics and the analytics and all those kinds of things. I mean, there's so many different things that have changed in the game. I know it's still 90 feet. It's still 60 feet 6 inches. All the rules of the game for the most part are still the same, but there's just so many differences. Every young man has his own private hitting coach, his own private pitching coach, his private trainer, and now with the transfer portal and the NIL, there's just so many things. But through the years, when I coached for 4 decades, believe me, we had to adapt to a lot of changes through the years. And, I'm not sure one is significant as NIL, the money part of it. But, it is what it is. And the way, you adapt or you die. And that's the way coaching is. And, I'm kind of glad that I'm out of it now. I wouldn't really want to make the adaptation to this transfer portal and the NIL stuff. I'm just grateful for the time that I had.
Obviously, a national championship goes number one on the list, but is there maybe one other moment that stands out from your time in the dugout at LSU that just kind of separates itself?
Well, a couple of moments, and one individual person was responsible for both of them. In my second year here, 2008, the first season didn't go so great. We inherited a kind of a tough situation, and we did the best we could. But, we went into the second year with the number 1 ranked recruiting class, and we were kind of sputtering along 40 games into the season, and we were playing on a Tuesday night at Tulane. And in the 8th inning with 2 outs and runners on second and third, we were losing by a run. DJ LeMahieu stepped up as a freshman and got a base hit to right field to give us the lead, and we held on to win the game. Well, that was game 1 of a 23-game winning streak for us in my second year, which really kind of got us back on track as a baseball program. And we ended up hosting the regional, hosting the super regional, closing down the old Alec Box Stadium and going to Omaha. And although we didn't win the national championship that year, it set the stage for the following year. And then in game 1 against Texas, we were down 2 runs, 2 outs in the 9th inning, and DJ LeMahieu stepped up and hit a 2-run double to tie the game, and we won, I think, in the 11th or 12th inning. And that was game 1, and then we ended up winning game 3 to win the national championship. So I think you could say that DJ LeMahieu had a lot to do with Paul Mainieri being inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame today.
And so many others as well. Coach, congratulations, and enjoy the weekend here in Natchitoches.
All right, thank you.